I am an alright golfer, but my short game can struggle. So I will be golfing 18 mini golf holes where the only way I will advance is if I get a hole-in-one. This might take a while. We are at Bullwinkle's Family Fun Center in Wilsonville, Oregon to mini golf at one of their two 18-hole courses. But this challenge was a bit much for one person, so I brought a friend, Jake. If either of us score a hole-in-one, we advance to the next hole. Most holes-in-ones win. After grabbing our gear and picking lucky color red, it was time to start.
What are the chances of me getting a hole-in-one my very first shot? This is gonna take a while.
That was an understatement, because this first hole took us 40 whole minutes to get our first hole-in-one. The sporadic bounces of the bricks made this hole much harder than it looks. Taking this long to get our first hole-in-one already had us second guessing this challenge. Finally, one drops, giving Jake an early 1-0 lead. On to the next hole. Hole number 2 was practically straight, with an object blocking the middle path. By starting off to one of the sides, it was possible to squeak by the middle object for a good look at the ace. With this being an easier hole, we were able to get the hole-in-one relatively fast. 10 minutes.
Upward high five!
With clutch putting, I was able to tie the score at 1. On to hole 3. This would turn out to be surprisingly one of the tougher holes. Not only the shape of the hole, but the right to left decline made this hole a pain. On top of all of that, the sun came out and with it the people. We started to allow more and more people to play through us, increasing the time of every hole. That's why we made a new rule. If any person we let pass us gets a hole-in-one, we will advance, giving us a new stat to beat: randoms. As time went on, we got worse and worse at this hole while watching randoms inch closer. To get a hole-in-one on this hole, it took an hour. Closing in on 2 hours for 3 holes, we knew we had to improve our game if we didn't want to be here all day. As time went on, we continued to just miss the hole. It seemed like this hole would just never end. Then a hooded hero emerged from the shadows of the cave on hole number 2.
Hole-in-one!
And with that shot, the hooded hero gets a point on the board for the randoms, all tied at 1 heading into the 4th hole, which is a simple shot into a house which leads to a drain for a random roll towards the hole. With enough repetition, this shouldn't take long. The only question is, who makes it first? It only took 5 minutes to get our answer.
There we go.
Jake took a 1-point lead with his hole-in-one, heading into hole number 5, which was another straight shot to the hole. This is a hole I should win given enough shots. With guests picking up and having to let groups of people pass, randoms had a clear advantage.
Alright, show you guys how it's done here. There's the line.
Only being able to shoot 1 shot in between groups, we never really got into a rhythm for this hole. This opened the door for a random to steal an easy hole.
Oh! Did he? Oh, hole-in-one!
And just like that, Random scored another point, putting myself in last going into hole number 6, which has a bank shot left over a bridge and down a minor slope towards the hole. This hole was surprisingly easy once you find the location to bank it down the bridge. We managed to hole out after only 10 minutes, finally getting some momentum through these holes. After sinking my putt, it tied everything back up at 2 points apiece, moving on to the next hole. Hole 7 was a simple putt with a single right to left slope. Perfect hole for me to capitalize on and take my first lead. Well, as long as a random doesn't steal another one from me.
They got it.
Without skipping a beat, this young girl drains the hole-in-one to give the randoms a 1-point lead heading into hole 8. This hole draws a striking resemblance to the house on hole 4, but with a castle. We decided to have some fun with this hole since it's all based on luck coming out of the pipe. And well, you will see what happens.
I don't know what part of that was gonna hit it, but...
And with us messing around gave the one group behind us a chance to take the easy hole.
It's the case where it happens in one hit.
With that shot, the randoms take a commanding 2-shot lead. It was time to get serious, moving on to the next hole. Hole 9 was a dogleg left featuring another right to left decline. Another shot I should make. And with no groups behind us, I was able to drill the shot in 8 minutes, putting myself 1 shot behind halfway through. Hole 10 is another straight 10-foot putt in what should be another quick hole.
Got your first shot in? Oh my god.
And this was a quick hole, just not for Jake. I holed out after only 4 minutes, making this the current quickest hole.
Moving on.
Winning back-to-back holes put me in a tie for first, moving on to the next hole. Hole 11 is an even shorter putt than the last hole, only with a minor incline. You won't believe this, but I holed out on my first shot, not even giving Jake a chance.
First putt, first make.
In a blink of an eye, I went from last to first, but my confidence was about to be shattered on the next hole. Hole 12 is a wave-like pattern with a left to right slope into a right to left slope towards the hole. This hole almost killed our spirit, and not even the randoms could save us from this hole. Matter of fact, we hit the hole about 6 times without it dropping in. After an hour, we thought about just tossing in the towel, but we had came too far to quit now. After countless groups passed us without a hole-in-one, our struggles were finally relieved of this hole after a whopping 1 hour and 25 minutes of constant grinding. At this point, fatigue was setting in. Taking a 2-point lead was exciting, but not nearly as exciting as leaving this hole behind. Hole 13 was a bend to the right with a slope in the middle left and an incline near the hole. Nowhere near as difficult as the last hole, but still a challenge. After being on the course for this long, everyone knew what we were doing and that we had a camera.
Woo! Hey, where's your camera when we need it?
We can make hole 1?
Yeah.
After only 11 minutes, we were able to get the ace. And with that putt, Jake inches closer to tying it up for second place. On to the hardest hole this course has to offer. Hole 14 is a slight left to right slope that flattens near the hole into a volcano-shaped sphere. In order to make this putt, you need to get the exact speed to not only get over the hill, but not go over. easier said than done because this hole took us the longest of any other hole. After a mind-boggling 2 hours and 10 minutes, this finally happened.
Nope.
Did you think it was going in? We did. Although thankfully, we would finally hit the ace after 2 hours and 20 minutes.
That's good.
After what seemed to be a lifetime, we were finally able to move to the next hole. Hole 15 was a straight 20-foot putt with a minor incline midway through, far easier than the previous hole. After coming close a few times, the group started coming up behind us again. Would any of them steal another hole? So close! With the groups out of the way, it didn't take long for us to ace the hole.
No way.
With Jake hitting the ace, he finally tied the randoms for second. Moving on to the next hole. Hole 16 has a left to right slope all the way to the hole. By starting at the far right, you are able to ride the slope for an angle at the hole. Jake struggled to get the ball even close to the hole, while I was able to ace it in 9 minutes. I had already clinched the win, but could I sink the next 2 holes to get into double-figure aces? Hole 17 is the shortest hole on the course, but with objects blocking our path. It is possible to thread the needle in between the objects for a look at the hole. At this point, we were so popular at the course, people were asking us for pictures. After some fan pics and groups narrowly missing, we holed out after 11 minutes.
Helped out. Hit it.
With that shot, Jake takes second place outright, heading into the final hole. Hole 18 is a simple, straight 10-foot putt. This hole being so simple only took us 6 minutes to ace. And with that ace, I not only won the challenge, but had enough time left over to enjoy the arcade.